Hello, and welcome to the podcast, where we unearth the forgotten whispers of the past and bring them to life through the human stories that shaped them. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and liking this video to join our journey through history's most compelling narratives. Today, we journey to the frost-bitten landscapes of Finland, to a time when a nation fought for its very soul against an overwhelming tide. We'll delve into a tale that isn't just about bullets and battles, but about the profound transformation of an ordinary man caught in the jaws of an unimaginable conflict. Imagine a life sculpted by the quiet rhythm of farming, the stark beauty of the Finnish winter. Now, imagine that same quiet man thrust into a brutal war against an invading superpower, morphing into something whispered about in fear, a ghost in the snow, a legend born of desperation. This is the deeply personal and harrowing story of Simo Häyhä, the unassuming farmer who became the deadliest sniper in history. What incredible force, be it courage, desperation, or something more primal, can turn an ordinary human into an almost mythical force of nature. Join me as we uncover the astonishing truth behind the White Death. My name is Alara. I grew up in the shadow of whispers, tales told around crackling fires on long, dark Finnish nights. Stories of survival, of a deep-seated grit we call Sisu. But one story always stood apart, chilling me while simultaneously filling me with an almost defiant pride. It was the story of Simo Häyhä. He wasn't a soldier by trade, not initially. He was a farmer, just like my grandfather, whose hands knew the rich earth and whose eyes understood the subtle shifts of the forest. Born in 1905, in a small municipality called Surgeries, not far from what would become a contested border, Simo's world was one of quiet solitude, sustained by hunting, fishing, and the diligent tending of his land. From a young age, Simo was known for his uncanny aim. His hunting rifle wasn't merely a tool, it was an extension of himself. He won trophy after trophy in local shooting competitions, a testament to a patience and precision that most people could only dream of. He was the kind of man who blended into the forest, a part of the snow-laden landscape, an observer, not a participant in the grand dramas of nations. He completed his compulsory military service in 1925, like every young Finn, exhibiting a quiet competence but attracting no particular fanfare. His path seemed set, a life of peaceful, unassuming toil. But history, as it often does, had other plans. The late 1930s were a tense time. Finland, a young nation that had only recently wrestled its independence from the sprawling Russian Empire in 1917, now found itself a tiny, vulnerable democracy sandwiched between totalitarian giants. To our east, the Soviet Union, a colossal, ideologically driven entity under Joseph Stalin, cast a long, menacing shadow. The air was thick with unease. We knew in our bones that something was coming. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, signed in August 1939 between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, was the final, sickening clue. It secretly carved up Eastern Europe into spheres of influence, and Finland, tragically, fell into the Soviet sphere. Stalin's demands were audacious: territory, military bases, concessions that would effectively compromise our sovereignty. Our government refused. How could we not? They were asking us to surrender the very land that defined us. Then, on November 30th, 1939, it happened. The quiet was shattered by the roar of Soviet artillery, the distant rumble of tanks, the terrifying drone of warplanes overhead. The Winter War had begun. My people, a nation of barely 3.7 million, found ourselves pitted against a behemoth. The Red Army, with its vast numbers, its tanks, its aircraft, seemed an unstoppable force. It was David versus Goliath, played out on a canvas of ice and snow. Every able-bodied man, and many women, answered the call. Farmers became soldiers, loggers became engineers, and the stillness of our forests was replaced by the grim choreography of war. Simo, now a corporal in the 6th Company of Infantry Regiment 34, was deployed to the Kollaa River sector. Kollaa, even its name sounded bleak, a strategically vital yet unforgiving stretch of frozen wilderness in eastern Karelia. It was here, in temperatures that often plunged to a soul-numbing 40 degrees Celsius, that the transformation began. Simo Häyhä, the farmer, became the White Death, The world would later marvel at the sheer audacity of our resistance, the Sisu that burned in our frozen hearts. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and at times seemed utterly insane for daring to stand against such might. But what choice did we have? This was our home. And in those impossible days, ordinary people were forced into extraordinary circumstances to defend it. Simo's methods became the stuff of whispered legends, even among us. While most snipers of the era relied on telescopic sights, Simo chose to use the plain iron sights of his Finnish-made Mies 2830 Mosin Nagant rifle. Why? Because in that unforgiving cold, a scope could fog up, could betray your position with a glint of sun. And without it, he could maintain an even lower profile, melting into the snow so completely that he became practically invisible. He would pack snow in front of his position to create a barrier, muffling the muzzle flash and the sound of his shots, making him even harder to pinpoint. And, perhaps most chillingly, he would hold snow in his mouth to prevent his breath from misting in the frigid air, revealing his presence. These were the small, crucial adaptations of a man intimately connected to his environment, a hunter who now stalked a more dangerous prey. He moved silently, like a phantom. One minute, the snow-laden forest was empty. The next, he was there, a barely discernible white shape. He didn't just understand the terrain, he became a part of it. He became a living extension of the frozen landscape, a silent, deadly force that picked off Soviet soldiers with chilling efficiency. His kill count grew with terrifying speed. In a period of just over 3 months, he accumulated an astonishing 505 confirmed sniper kills. That's not a typo. 505. Many days, he took down dozens, and that's just with his rifle. He also wielded a Suomi KP-31 submachine gun for close-quarters combat, netting an estimated 200 more. This quiet farmer, this unassuming hunter, became the physical manifestation of our desperation and defiance. The Soviets, understandably, became obsessed. They called him Belaya Smrt, the White Death. They launched what they called Operation White Death, unleashing counter-snipers and artillery barrages, specifically targeting areas where he was known to hunt. The psychological impact he had on the Red Army was immense. Imagine being a Soviet soldier, freezing, exhausted, knowing that somewhere out there, hidden in the blinding white, was a ghost with a rifle, watching, waiting, and always, always hitting its mark. It wasn't about aggression for Simo, it was about survival. It was defense, pure and unyielding. And now, if you're finding this story as captivating as I am, please do take a moment to subscribe and turn on those notifications. We have many more untold human stories from the annals of time waiting to be shared with you. Your support helps us bring these powerful narratives to light. Simo's incredible run, this unbelievable individual war against an empire, came to an abrupt end on March 6, 1940. During a fierce Soviet counterattack, a Red Army soldier, perhaps by sheer luck or perhaps as part of those desperate counter-sniper efforts, struck him. An explosive bullet tore through his lower left jaw, ripping away much of his face. He fell, unconscious, into the snow he had so expertly used as his camouflage. His comrades found him and evacuated him, reportedly saying he was missing half his head. The battle for Kollaa, the tenacious Finnish defense, continued, but the White Death was gone. He drifted in and out of consciousness for days. When he finally fully regained his senses, a week later, it was March 13, 1940. The Moscow Peace Treaty had just been signed. The Winter War was over. Finland had ceded significant territory, but we had retained our independence. Simo awoke to a world irrevocably changed, a war concluded, and his own face a shattered canvas. He spent over a year in hospital, undergoing 26 surgeries to reconstruct his jaw and face. The scars were deep, both visible and invisible. He never fully regained the full use of his jaw. The marks of war, even for a legend, are profound and permanent. The hidden tolls of conflict weigh heavily, even on those who survive and are hailed as heroes. After the war, Simo Häyhä, the deadliest sniper in history, simply faded back into the quiet life he had always known. He returned to his farm, resumed his moose hunting and dog breeding. He wasn't one for fanfare, for basking in glory. when Marshal Karl Gustav Emil Mannerheim, our commander-in-chief, a legend himself, promoted him directly from corporal to second lieutenant. It was an almost unheard-of battlefield promotion, a recognition of his truly extraordinary service. But Simo remained humble, almost shy about his past. He was rarely asked about his service, and when he was, his answers were famously understated. When once asked how he became such a good shot, he simply replied, "Practice." And when questioned about his feelings concerning his victims, his response was even more revealing. "I did what I was told to do, as well as I could." No bravado. No regret, just the quiet, pragmatic understanding of duty in a brutal time. This was the Sisu embodied quiet dedication, unwavering resolve, and an absence of complaint or self-pity. He lived a long life, far removed from the headlines, passing away peacefully on April 1, 2002, at the age of 96. His later years were spent in the tranquility of the Finnish countryside, a stark contrast to the frozen hell of Kollaa. Simo Häyhä's legacy isn't just about a staggering kill count or a chilling nickname. It's about so much more. It's about resilience, about a people's fight for their very existence. It's about how the intimate knowledge of one's homeland can become the most potent weapon. It's about how, even against overwhelming odds, a single individual, armed with skill and an unbreakable will, can make a monumental difference. He became a symbol of Finnish defiance, a testament to human endurance and skill. His story is a powerful reminder that history is not just made by armies and generals, but by the farmer, the logger, the quiet individual forced to become something extraordinary in a time of crisis. The Winter War changed Finland forever, but it also cemented our national character, our Sisu. It showed the world that even a small nation, when united by purpose and an unwavering will to survive, could hold its ground against a superpower. And Simo, the humble farmer, remains one of the purest embodiments of that spirit. What price does a nation pay for such resilience? What scars does it leave? And what does it say about humanity, that such quiet heroes emerge from the most brutal of conflicts? Simo Häyhä's story isn't just about a sniper, it's about the transformation of a quiet farmer into a legendary survivor. It asks us, what are you willing to do to defend what you believe in, to survive the impossible? And how many untold stories, perhaps from a time of conflict or great challenge, lie hidden within your own family's history? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your reflections in the comments below. What other quiet heroes from history inspire you? Or perhaps you have a family story of resilience you'd like to share. Your insights enrich our community. If this deep dive into history resonated with you, please make sure to share this video with someone who needs to hear this incredible story. And if you want to delve deeper into the extraordinary resilience of ordinary people in wartime, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next journey into the past. We are committed to bringing these powerful human narratives to light, and your support makes it all possible. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep exploring the echoes of history.